This one thing that sort of validated them and made them feel like they'd achieved something doesn't have the same clout. We live in a time where men and women are so divided politically. Men are way more right wing, women are leaning more left wing. So it's becoming difficult for us to have these partnerships without really evaluating what they mean and what we have to sacrifice to be in that. When we look at how men are raised and how they behave in society and how oppressive it is to women, as we start to like rise up, it starts to feel like almost like it contradicts our values to be in a relationship with someone. And so I kind of wanted to tap into that idea and express how, oh, this idea is manifesting even in the way that we present our partners online. I think this has been a very hard conversation for a lot of straight women, especially straight women who are in relationships, to have.
Rise up. Okay, rise up. Yeah, whatever. This woman, I believe she's the one who wrote this article, this viral piece that's claiming it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. But it's just another way of giving women a coping mechanism. It's like every 5 years, they have to have a new identity, strong and independent, girl boss, soft girl era. And we can't forget, I don't need a man. So now it's embarrassment to have a boyfriend. But this all keeps them single. It reflects a larger pattern that consistently gives women coping mechanisms to stay single. All those women that's in happy relationships, but they push the negative ones to the forefront. See, this is a media-raised woman. You know, the ones with the daddy issues, they crave chaos, trauma-driven, drama-dependent, addicted to dysfunction. And they all call themselves queens. Yeah, queens of chaos. That's what I like to call them. They have to create all these narratives, attachment style, love language, manifesting. They were sold and taught that they can manifest anything. They really believe this. They think they can pray and get the man to fall out the sky.
The Cut wrote an article about this manifestation program called To Be Magnetic. And yes, it has culty vibe. And yes, I'm a member and we need to talk.
This method is gonna manifest any guy you want. Bookmark this so you can use it when you need it. This is exactly how I attracted my soulmates in my relationship with him. Every client I've shared this with has had insane results, and one of them manifested a whole vacation with this.
Oh my God.
Repeat after me.
Okay, I will.
Men love giving to me.
No, we don't.
Providers from all over the world take joy in my pleasure.
No, they don't.
Men love seeing me happy.
No, they don't.
I am always provided for.
No, you're not.
Emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, and otherwise. I always live a lavish lifestyle.
I want a boyfriend so bad! Fuck!
Too bad.
Right, friend, what do you want?
Tall, freckles,
Oh my God.
full lips. I will take all 3 shades of brown. Cannot do it. These men sound like SpongeBob no more. Athletic build.
Tattoos?
Small waist.
He wants a baddie.
Yes, I love tattoos. Preferably, I would like a sleeve.
Now you see how crazy they sound? They want this fantasy man. And that's why I'm doing this, because this is all about the media. The media pushed this junk on them. Okay? The media did this. And all it did was manifest a bad dating market that they claim they do not like. The media spent decades telling them they don't need a man. They don't want a man to approach them. All this stuff. They can do bad all by themselves. All this stuff that keeps them single. They got celebrities telling them they don't have to cook or clean, but they can still get the ring. They tell us being a wife is a slave. Not my daughters, though. See, women who was raised with fathers, good fathers, they're not media raised like these women. These is media raised, fatherless women. If you don't cook or clean, what you gonna do? You gonna mow the lawn? You gonna trim the bushes? You gonna get that snake that's crawling? You gonna clean the gutters? You gonna take out the trash? See, they don't think about the jobs the men do. They don't. They only think about themselves, because that's how the media made them feel. And they didn't do it just to profit. They did it. They were the main source behind the gender wars. They were, folks. You know it. That's why we focusing on this. This woman wrote an article saying it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. And I see a lot of young men out there, my son, oldest son included, that say it's embarrassing to have a girlfriend. It really is, because people know if you got a girlfriend, you just spending money. They know this. You think it's a coincidence that this writer is a sister? The woman who wrote The Color Purple is a sister? You think this is a coincidence? See, when I was in college, I dated different races and ethnic groups, and I can see clearly the media had an agenda. I could see it clearly. They pushed that strong independent on black women first. The media played a trick on them, making them think dating is easy. It's not easy. Just like marriage is not easy. It also made them think that this a perfect man out there, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, abs. They were sold a fantasy, and it convinced them that they deserve it. They were convinced. Common sense should know that that man is a figment of your imagination, a media creation. Common sense would tell them that. You don't see them every day. Most men do not look like Morris Chestnut or Boris Kodjoe. They don't. But they have convinced themselves, because they didn't have a father around, a good father around to tell them that's not how life works. They have convinced themselves that that's what they deserve. And if they don't get that, they don't want nothing. Okay, it's the same mentality as a drug dealer. Get rich or die trying. You know how dumb that sounds? Live a high life for a few years, but spend the next 20, 30 years paying for it in prison. And that's what these women do in relationships. In their 20s, they chase the bad boys and the players, and then they get busted with reality when those men do not want them in the long term. All the fun runs out. And they're stuck in decades of an emotional, lonely prison, to the point where other women being happy is not a good thing for them. That's why they're saying it's embarrassing. What they're trying to do with this article is stop women from bragging or speaking good about their men, because they can't handle it, because they all want to blame men for whatever problems they have. Let's get to the next clip.
Y'all keep saying having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Let's be real, it's worse than that. Because the boyfriend phase is where too many women get stuck playing wife, therapist, chef, personal assistant with no title, no security, no long-term plan. In Islam, we don't do boyfriend for a reason. It's not just religious, it's logical. There's expectations, there's accountability, not situationships. As a woman, we carry the risk, emotional labor, wasted time, fertility window, safety, everything. So yeah,
no, you don't.
Having a boyfriend is embarrassing, especially when you know your worth. We deserve men who lead, protect, and propose, not just text you back. So yeah, girls, just know your worth and date right.
All these women keep women single. They do. Know your worth, what you deserve. You don't deserve anything. I'm glad I taught my daughters from day one. You don't deserve anything. You have to work for everything in life. What she's talking about is a flat out lie. Men carry the goddamn risk of everything. The only thing women carry risk of is picking the wrong man. That's all. If the relationship doesn't work out, who gets blamed? Not the woman. The man gets blamed for everything that went wrong. Not because he did anything wrong, because of her unrealistic expectations. That's what these women have today, these modern women. That's why I tell the men in my family, don't argue with a woman. Don't ever argue with a woman, because you will be labeled the abuser, not her. Even if she started, even if she hit you first, you can't even defend yourself. You can't. If she asks you, are you cheating? Leave her. If she asks you, is you gay? Leave her. Because she's setting you up for the downfall. Because most of these women today are media raised. And those are the women, they don't want good men. They want drama. They want chaos. That's what they want. Hollywood told them that it's a fantasy. All the Disney movies, all the TV shows told them that they deserve something. Ain't that crazy? More importantly, it established unrealistic expectations that can never be met. They framed the man as the liability and the women as the victim just because this man couldn't meet her expectations. How many times you heard a woman say he treated her bad just because he took her to a 3-star restaurant and not a 5-star? Or he didn't pay for her nails. That's not treating you bad. That's not treating you bad. Okay? That's treating you like an adult. Y'all always talking about men are sassy. Men need to grow up. Y'all need to grow up. Especially the ones who didn't have a good father in their life. The best thing I did for my daughters, I raised them with no ego. I didn't let people call them queens. Don't let nobody call my daughters a queen or a princess. Am I a king? Hell no. Oh, you're a king of your castle, man. Stop with all that dumb shit. Okay? You know who was the worst woman treated in the kingdom? The queen. The king had bastard children all over the city. He treated the queen so bad, and she couldn't do nothing because he was the king. Don't let these movies fool you and act like the woman have power. She had never had no power. They didn't get power until about 100 years ago to vote. But they get tricked into the media, and the media pushed this thing on them, and now women got egos. They think like men, which is crazy. They want a man they can show off, but still do all these other things, buy roses, take them on nice dates, compliment them. And then they'll call that mediocre. They'll call that bare minimum. But at the end of the day, it's still more than what they do. That's what's crazy. It's still more than what they do.
I regret every single time I made a mediocre man feel like they were something special. Having a man is embarrassing. Coming from a woman who has a man who has had many men. We were indoctrinated to believe that that's what we had to do. The reason having a man is embarrassing is because we all know we deserve better than what we're getting when we're in a relationship.
See that? They think they deserve something instead of working for it. Okay? If I seen my daughters carrying a grocery bag in the house, I wouldn't help them. They had to ask for help all the time. I was teaching them, nobody's going to help you unless you ask for help. These women will tell you a man is not doing something for him because he can't read her mind. That's their buzzword, mediocre. They think they're empowered. It's crazy, man. They can never admit they chose wrong because they are wrong. They chose bad because they are bad. The truth is, love is not embarrassing if you get with the right person, if someone taught you how to choose better, if someone taught you how to be a better person. And the media like to push this agenda to divide, to keep the gender wars going, because it makes them money. It does. I remember back in the 1990s, all these women used to chant, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I remember the first time I heard that, I was on a date with a sister, and she said, I don't need a man. I was like, oh, okay. Are you gay? It's cool. No. I mean, I just pay all my own bills. So I said, well, why are we on a date if you don't need a man? She said, well, it's not that I need a man. I want a man. And I paused. I said to myself, why would you want something you don't need? They never think about that.
Thoughts on Vogue article, having a boyfriend is embarrassing. It is embarrassing this day and age, girl. What's out there now, it is embarrassing because they don't know how to act and they're stupid. Now, if they're an older man, they probably won't be your boyfriend long. They'll probably give you a ring, you'll be fiance or wife. But these dudes out here having girlfriends for 10 plus years, that's just pathetic. And plus, you're calling a man a boy.
Look at that. You see how she said dudes out here? What about the woman? She can get out the relationship. She doesn't have to wait for 10 years. See how they just keep blaming the man?
So that tells you a lot right there. Don't claim him if he's not claiming you 100% and paying all them bills and you ain't clocking in no more. Don't claim him. That's just your friend. Y'all need to start getting comfortable with calling these dudes your friends and not claiming them if they're not doing the most. I'm serious. They don't love you enough to make you a wife. They don't have enough money to provide in order for you to be a wife. So why are you even claiming them? Why are you taking yourself off the market? It is embarrassing for women, especially when you are being faithful to someone that has very low potential, can't do nothing for you, gonna keep you waiting on a ring for half your life, and then not even be able to do much for you. Like, it is embarrassing. Get you a man that can do the most, and he'll probably claim you. You only have to use the word boyfriend, darling. Unless you're in college, unless you're young, that's understandable. But I'm talking about grown women that are doing the most and still claiming some boyfriend. Because if he ain't doing nothing, he's friend.
Now I understand why my son and all his friends, they say they ain't never get married. They go down south all the time in Mexico and other countries. And they all races of people. They do not mess with these women in this country. They don't. But these women who grow up without fathers, they're not used to being around men. So they listen to all these people in the media. They media raised. And it's sad, and they're going to end up single and alone, which some of them say it's okay, and that's fine if you want to be alone. But stop complaining, bitching and complaining all the time. All right, folks, that's the breakdown.
Broke it down to its very last compound.